Hey, we're gonna just take a look and see if the National Guard will be sent to Chicago. I have a fairly strong feeling that they will be. Trump is bound and determined, and just because it's illegal, no one's been stopping him from the other actions. I hope I am wrong, but I don't know that that's, gonna happen, unfortunately. I wouldn't count on it. So let's just see if we can get an answer, more clear answer, through the signature Oracle Trish James deck. And like I said before, her decks come out of Australia, and I do have real concern. I think I'm gonna write her uh, as one of her members and ask about what we can do a workaround somehow. Okay, go through Canada. All right. Is Trump going to send the National Guard to stay in Chicago just to punish them for not voting for him, not supporting him in the last election because he's petty, petty, petty pants? And this is his blue state torture punishment tour. We had George Bush doing this where we had out, brownouts. They always do this. If your state doesn't, Republicans support them, they'll, they're very petty. And I'm sorry, it does go back to the Bush family and others before that. I'm sure that they did stuff we just didn't know about. But I do know about that because I lived through it. All right, let's try to zoom in here. Are the Texas National Guard going to be sent to Chicago to play in our faces, and in particularly Pritzkers and the Chicago citizens, um, for not supporting this thin-skinned whiner baby man? To me, when I heard him speaking about it, oh, we're sending him in. Da, 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 I think he is. I think it's one of those things where he means what he's saying. And short of a miracle, and someone finding some guts, I think he's going to do it, just like he did to my state. And San Francisco, he's eyeing us next. I believe we'll probably see it. But let's carry on and keep an open mind. I'm going to do that. It's like, oh, maybe there's more things I don't know about. So let's just kind of open up that tray, so to speak, to catch whatever they want to present to us. All right. National Guard and Chicago. But this National Guard is from Texas. How is this going to go over? Will they end up there in Chicago? And how does that look like it will be while they're there? Or maybe not. Will some last moment thing come up that's able to stop that deployment there? Meditation, go within. These have a gloss, so, but not too much. And these are again the signature Oracle deck from the beautiful Trish James in Australia. Oh, like I said, I got to send her a note and ask her. Hmm. Well, still there's split mind, undecided. So even though Trump's wanting to do this, there is some element here that's not quite tapped and really made up their mind how they feel about what they're going to do, um, or how maybe even some of the guards. And I think it's maybe more of the guards having to check for moral clarity and go within. That split mind, undecided. I wonder if it's like me thinking of, is there some way we can, uh, reject doing this? Is there some legal recourse? And there is, because it's illegal, but nobody's standing up and using it. Um, they're making, the suits, but it's suing them for it. But of course, that's not going to start, you know, because there's so many other suits. It's going to take a while to get to, is my point. We have high energy boost here, tension, and a great deal of passion about this. And people also ready to, what can they do, to help prevent this? And quite understandably, we have ground, adjust and realign, creative, inspired ideas, like alternatives to what they could do. And then I get flow, just go with it. But then I get also and connected to that of procrastinate, wasting time. I think he's liking to hold this over their heads as like a cruel, oh, I'm going to drop them in, because he sees that they are responding with a great deal, like, oh, I've touched a nerve. He's noticing that. Um, and he's horrible. But I think he's not going to be expecting some of what the backlash here. All right. I get nutrition, well being. This makes me think, are they going to find themselves, not the guard, not being given enough nutrition or food supply, uh, nest change, home or family? I think they're going to want to go home. I think them being in Louisiana, I think the National Guard is going to, people within it are going to be feeling like I should be at home with my family. I should not be here. I'm feeling I'm getting run down. The need for nutrition and well-being makes me think that also the meal stuff isn't being consistent, and maybe not inconsistent in quality as far as nutrition is concerned, because they're just out there standing, more or less. Hmm. I get signs from heaven, those that have This will be interesting to see how this fits in. Those that have passed and coming to you in a dream or coming to others in a dream to relate a message or just to bring a comforting I you know, I see you, I know what you're going through, I'm here for you kind of thing. This feels like it's helping them to see that there's a purpose here. And we get this beautiful picture of like a stoic creature hold cradling a cute little baby. So, and it's a beginning and a new start. Hmm. Walk away, not for you. I wonder if some of them are going to walk away and say, man, I, I can't be a part of this more. This is just not, maybe they'll be thinking they're ready to not follow that command. I'm not sure. But somehow there is this walking away from this order, I think. Opportunity, new doors, pick me up, healing. Abundance, multiplying, travel, time to get away. Could mess with also some of their summer vacation plans as well with family. I think it's going to create a real resentment within the National Guard community, which isn't surprising, who feel like this is just unnecessary and wanting to walk away from it. Love, bliss, and passion. Spirit guide, ask for help. I think more she's holding a sparkling, really pretty silver heart in her hand, and this is love, bliss, and compassion, and passion. And the spirit guide asks for help. I think it's also a reminder to us, you know, to ask for help, to continue to ask for help where this whole thing is happening. That's just too much. And for the protection of our nation and to get rid of them as soon as we can. Do the work, reward for the effort. And we get lost, need direction. I just feel like they don't feel like they have a real purpose while they're there. And I think some of them are going to start to see the bigger picture to what he's doing. Yeah. And success charge ahead. I think some of the more thinkers, independent thinkers, are going to get to a point where they're just not going to be present for it. I see socializing on social agenda more, posts talking about it, explaining things, and secret, keep it to yourself. Well, once you put it on social media, then you're not going to be keeping anything to yourself. It could be that these are secrets that end up on social media. That's Occam's razor, makes the most sense. And that we get the card of no, unclear, and fatigue running on empty. I think that Trump, that personal information again, that uh, he's lacking clarity and running on empty and fatigue. He's wearing down and shows a lack. And I don't think you're going to see it. I think maybe more instances of him disappearing, quote unquote, more often. It just reminds me of when the covering for Reagan. It really does have a lot of similarities. If you were not alive at that time and haven't read about what went on then, do yourself a favor and go over it. You'll find it very interesting. All right. So, you know what? I think I want to use the Lenormand. I just got that inspiration to do that. Yep, there we go. I think I got one. Yeah. All right. So, will Boston hmm, have the National Guard come in? Will the National Guard end up coming into Boston? Will the National Guard end up coming into Boston despite the lack of welcome and the unnecessary portions of it? I mean, it's just wasting our money and putting them like away from where they might really be needed. And I have a feeling that's going to catch up and happen because I did see like tornadoes and cyclone winds. Makes me kind of think of that hurricane season stuff. So let's just take a look. All right. How will it go if Chicago ends up in, if the National Guard ends up in Chicago? Getting a little tired. Well, there's the bouquet. This is the lustrous, not illustrious, but the lustrous Lenormand deck. I really like this one. Queen of Spades. Okay. And time. Compass. Direct. To me, this is like directing this activity to blue areas, whether a state or a city that has not supported him. And letter. Okay, so like with the Lenormand deck, the illustrious Lenormand deck, I asked if the National Guard from Texas would end up being there in Chicago. Just again, trying to get confirmation through different different tools. And we get the whip. So yeah, that punishment of the blue states, this is to me a sign of that. And it does make me think, yeah, they're definitely going there. And I get the labyrinth, this maze. Okay. And it can be confusing. Okay, we have the letter pertaining to any kind of, you know, texts, emails, and states of intention. Okay. There's a big roll of the dice here, a big chance. a gamble because of legalities. To me, the letter is like the law that's stating this isn't legal, and they're playing in the face of that law. They're taking that gamble. And I think this whip and the labyrinth are also the attempt to confuse people repeatedly and punish, in a sense, people. So, um, they're trying to maintain their ability to continue to act out in this fashion. We get book, and to me, this is law. This is the rules and the truth. And it's paired with a coffin. So with book and coffin, it shows like a painful ending to some form of education, often, or secrets that are painful. It's hidden knowledge that comes out. Um, with regard to, I'm guessing the exchanges, communications going on about uh, pushing the troops, the National Guard troops, to have to be there. Okay. Yes, and there is definitely a commitment to change coming here with the ring and the stork. I think that Chicago is going to be one of those triggering, that word's so used, but I think it's going to be one of those catalysts that start to slow down or make it a little bit more contested for him doing this. But I have a feeling he's just going to do what he wants until he's just not there. Oh, interesting. Get Scythe and Sun. Something will become clear here that it has to end. It has to stop. 31 and 10. Mm-mm. So it acts quickly, suddenly, and sharp. It can be surgical or irrevocable in effect. And it can mean ruptured friendships, this kind of stuff. Where is this guy? Near with the sun. Wonder if it has that listing here. It points to something being severed, cut, and a, it can have a dangerous effect upon whatever it is that came before it. Which is a change where commitment. All right. Let's see, sun. All right. So they should make this like so many times size larger for me and others that have hard time seeing small writing. All right, let's see here. and sun, or, you know, things being revealed, or clarity is concerned. They're trying to cut clarity, disrupt it. Okay. So cutting out truth, people's ability, or trying to show it. I don't have that one. Okay. So we'll look at, let's see, we'll just look at sun on its own. Okay. 31. All right. So in general, the sun brings vigor, energy, and vitality into a reading. It signals a welcome relief from difficult situations and conditions, and brings to the cards a light that helps you find your way. This cheery brightening up of things can come with a sense of success and achievement. Next to a challenging card, it dilutes them, as the good fairy godmother does in the case of the curse upon Sleeping Beauty, whatever. It doesn't take the challenge entirely away, but it will limit the severity of what somewhat. The sun can be electricity or voltage as well. Okay. And birds, like birds plus sun, could equal electric radio or recording device. The sun gives us daylight and summer, as well as consciousness and complementary opposites. So, well, definitely going to have some changing energies here, some real shifts. And I think attempts to further obscure the truth or to prevent us from getting to it. There's mice. So this is showing the disregard for the law, that it's illegal, and what they're doing, and the well, they're just helping themselves. Let me see just one more bit about. So I tend to think with the cards I'm getting that as of this time, I and things could perhaps change, and that's why it's always good to honestly keep checking in. I learned that a long time ago. Uh, but it looks to me like they do end up going in there, but there's a significant somehow ending around him being able to do this, connected into this Chicago with what he does there. At least I hope so anyway. That's what I'm picking up with the cards, that it heralds an end. with him being able to do that. Um, Maybe something will come up at the last minute, but I don't, my gut just kind of says no, they're going to go there just like they did in other places. And as I've said, it's illegal, but there's just nobody really stopping him. And I think it's because it's part of that class struggle. And there's other people that empower that are sympathetic or protecting that angle from us, the peasants. So, yeah, I just think that we will see them there. And they have no business being there. All right. See you in the next video.